What's going on, everyone? Alex from Computer Headquarters, and I got some feedback from someone on my video about my Molten strike of the Zenith Frenzy Stacker video I just put up. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And I actually had changed my title of the video to say 500 million DPS to try to get more attention to it, and it did. A lot more people started watching it, which is great because I think it's a great build, and I'm proud that I basically came up with it on my own, and you can't just go on POE Ninja and see a bunch of other people playing this build. It doesn't really exist. And it worked, and it's good. So, but the guy said, hey, I'd like to see your calculator because you're getting 500 million, and I think you're more like 200 million. He wasn't being rude, he was just being honest. And I'm sure a lot of other people want a calculator because POB, Path of Building, does not give you true Molten Strike damage, unfortunately, yet. Maybe one day they will. But I had made a calculator, and I told my friend David, who I always talk about in my videos, that someone had mentioned that this, thing, that it's maybe off a little bit. And David was like, oh, yeah, let's take a look at it. And sure enough, we found some problems. In fact, I just actually being OCD about this, but I want to remove the decimal spot there. There we go. So you couldn't have seen it anyway, but it was right here. There's a decimal places. Now you can see better, but so we looked at it. We went crazy making this way better. I told him I wanted to share it on the YouTube video, and we spent a lot of time, mostly him. He's really good. I always talk about how good he is at crafting and playing POE. He's just as good at spreadsheets and Excel and writing code for things. Like, let's see if I can find a like this. This is an example of something easy, right? This is multiplying and adding, but like this right here, where if you can see that, where there's like true, and it's like he's writing code basically. Here's a huge one. If this happens and this is true, then this and this and this, and he's able to do that, like code check boxes, right? Make things easy for people. So this exact spreadsheet is, I'm sharing this with the public. And the first thing you want to know if you want to use this, all you have to do is you press CTRL+A to highlight everything on the screen, open a brand new Google Sheet on your own account, CTRL+C, Control+V on yours, and now you can edit the data. This link I'm sharing with you is not editable, but once you put it into your own Google Sheet, you can do whatever you want with it. It's yours to play with, right? So hopefully it will help you if you're watching this, but more importantly, let's talk about it and how we got to being here. Hopefully I can explain it correctly without David being in the room with me, but we have this side, which is just regular Molten Strike. Sorry, I said that wrong. This is Molten Strike's first hit, and this is the returning hit if you have returning support gem. This league we have the enchant for the projectiles to return on two-handed weapon, and also Nimbus is also returning projectiles, right? So 3 different ways to get that, and we have those factored in over here, but this is the returning hit. And typically the returning hit is going to hit way more on the way back, has a better chance of hitting than it does on the first hit. So I won't explain that right now because it'll make the video too long. But we have buttons over here. So if you are playing regular Molten Strike and you do not have any return at all, you have none of those things I just said, then you just turn all this stuff off. If you're not doing Molten Strike of the Zenith, then you unclick it. All these buttons just work, okay? So now I'm like, no, I am playing Zenith version, and the Zenith version gets factored in on the bottom. That's why there's so many columns here, is to average out the damage on Zenith over 5 hits. And if you have Nimbus or an enchant, then this is going to add it in as well. So if you're going to use this whole box right here is where you fill things in for your build, and then the output to get your numbers is going to happen over here. So I will say one thing: it looks like I'm a big fat liar because I said my damage was 500 million, and I was being truthful because I thought it was, but it looks like it's more like 111. Quite a bit less, but still a lot of damage. It's not like, oh, my build's junk now. Obviously, you guys, if you watch the video, I like killed every Uber, no sweat, and killed the Feared in 1 second. So you have to have a lot of damage to kill the Feared, and all 5 of them in like 1 second. Do I need to update the title of my video? Probably. I'll probably get around to it. But let's just say you're going to use this. One thing that you might want to think about is this is an estimate of the first hit. So this is like my first swing with my Molten Strike. All the balls come out. How many of those balls that come out are going to actually hit one enemy if you're fighting just like an Uber boss that says just Cirrus and swing. Some of the balls go all over the place and don't hit, right? So we're just estimating 50%. Now, if you have like a simplex amulet with less projectile speed, then it tightens the Molten Strike. Like Connor Converse is wearing the simplex amulet on his big build, and so he's probably hitting more than 50%. And when I'm going to talk about him in a minute, because he says he's doing over 1 billion damage in his videos. I don't know if that's true now. I'm looking at the calculator, but for him to calculate that, he might put this at 100% to try to estimate and say these big numbers he's doing. And then same thing on the return. A lot more is going to hit. We're just saying 80%. It's probably, maybe it's not going to be all of them, but it's going to be more. So he might say 100, for instance, to try to make his number look big, and maybe he's right. But I don't think mine is doing that. So, but he's also not doing 9 projectiles. He's doing 8. So you just need to factor all this stuff, and you might say, oh, I've got a really tight group, and I have this many projectiles, and I'm using this and this, and then I go look at my POB. So let's see, I think this one's my POB right here that I just went through again. It's different than the one I did in the video because I updated some stuff. I forgot I was shocking. There's some things, there was a projectile distance that mattered a lot too for my damage. And this is on melee hit right now, not magma balls, but you can see this is actually a lot better than what I had before. So this is higher than what I had, but the calculator was inflating at too high. So anyway, that's my POB, and so that's where I got my numbers to stick in here. And my attack rate. So we were doing this differently too. We were using combined damage from POB before. Now we're breaking it down because we think it's more accurate this way. So you put your average damage and your attack rate from your POB into there, and then you can also add your melee, which is just to show you guys that you go on here and you drop down here and you do melee hit, and that's going to give you your flat melee hit, and that's just additive to everything you're doing with your magma balls. It's not a huge amount, but it could be significant. Might as well throw it in there. So this on the right hand side is going to show you how many balls are going to hit per swing, or per how many balls. Yeah, how many you swing once, how many balls should hit. And then average multiplier, which how much damage multiplier you're getting, because if you're doing Zenith, you're getting a multiplier. So if I turn Zenith off, it's way less, right? Okay, so hopefully all that makes sense, and hopefully this is all working correctly, and will help you guys calculate it. If there's someone out there that's like, you're forgetting this, you're forgetting that, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be some people are going to say, why do you have 1,010% for Molten Strike of the Zenith? And I went over this with David, and he explained it to me. He's very good at math. And he said, if your damage is, let's just say your damage is 100,000. If you're doing 100% of your damage, how much is that? It's 100,000. It's just the same number, right? If you're capable of doing all of your damage, then that is all of your damage. That's the number. It's 100% of your damage. So sometimes 100% means you have to think about the context, right? So in this context, 1,000 more than your full 100% is 1,100%. So that makes sense. But if you don't think about it in the right context, you'll be like, no, it's only 1,000%. You have to add the 1,000 to the 100. So hopefully that makes sense. But if you guys see anything else, they're like, oh, I think you're doing this wrong. Maybe you're going to dive into this calculator, like, oh, this thing. You might say, hey, I actually know for a fact that the 50% is lower or higher, or this is, you might see some things that you want to tell me about. I'm actually really interested. I want the best calculator that's the most accurate. So I will update it if I need to for people, and I'll even make another video like, hey, so and so told me about this, and let's update it, because I think people should be using something like this. Finally, let's look at Connor's build, because he always says in his videos he's doing 1 billion damage. And so this is literally, I took his POB right off of his video, his last video, like the end game update, like he's wearing the craziest like original sin stuff. Sorry, I just scooted the wrong thing over here. And so he's doing 321. His attack speed's like almost twice as fast as mine, which is great, but his projectiles are a little bit less, but yeah, 321. So let's plug, gosh, I keep moving the wrong thing. Let's plug Connor's in so you can see it. So we're going to switch this right here to 321, 460, and we're going to update this to 9.26, and then he is 8 projectiles, and I would say that he's way higher hit chance because of his simplex amulet. I would even say like 80 and like, let's just say 100 because he's saying he's doing a billion. So I'm just trying to give him the benefit. Okay, let's go 100 because I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. He seems to always know what he's talking about in his videos. His melee hit is 460, it says on POE. I'm seeing that off screen. Something like that. So what am I missing? He's not doing anywhere close to a billion damage. He's 200 million, which is still a lot. I mean, that's a lot of damage, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not a billion. Where's the billion coming from? Let me know if you guys know where it's coming from. Maybe he's just flat out wrong. Maybe he's trying to throw out big numbers in the video because he's making videos. I don't think he's that type of guy, though. Maybe my calculator is just not good. Oh, is there something? Maybe, I wonder if he put his projectile travel distance like 5. Because if he did that, no, it wouldn't be it didn't really change much on the calculator on his POV. I must be missing something. So why don't you guys tell me if you think I'm missing something? Is his build really doing a billion damage? Is his build actually is my calculator saying that he's doing 208? More like less than 208. There's no way he's hitting every single time. What do you guys think? All right, bye.